Good Monday morning. This is Kramer's Corner with the daily technical update on this, in Denmark, rainy Monday morning. S&P 500 closed about 4,500 Friday. It was a little bit on the weak side. The uptrend is still intact on both daily and weekly, but as you can see here, we still have some divergence on the RSI, so there's a little bit of imbalance, meaning the uptrend is a little bit stretched to reverse that scenario or reverse that picture and cancel the divergence. It needs to close above 76.36, which is the dashed line here. However, RSI is in an uptrend, it's above the falling trend line, so a little bit indecisive, and there is some overhead resistance around 45.46 and also up to around 4,600 level, but quite stretched. So keep your stops tight if you are trading it. Nasdaq 100, more or less the same picture. If I can make a change yet, there we are. Also stretched RSI in an uptrend, and but there is RSI divergence indicating a little bit of divergence there, imbalance in the market, a weakness. I said it before, and I believe we will see a short-term peak in the market last week or this week, and I think that going into August it will probably be a little bit of to the weak side on equities, and then it will pick up again when we come into end August, September towards October, but let's see how that plays out. DAX seems still to struggle a little bit for upside momentum, still above 16,000, but it can't really, seems like it can't really get upside momentum. You still have RSI below 60, and lastly it was below 40, so it's still in a negative sentiment. Amsterdam AEX 25 seems like when it closes above 777, it can't really get above 781, and that seems to be the resistance level there. The RSI indicates higher levels. There is a little bit of divergence, however. So it's really struggling also, but I mean the trend is there, but we really need a confirmation above 781 for further upside. Belgium, haven't talked much about it. I'll do an update later on most of the European indices, as I usually do on Monday mornings. So we have the back above 3,668, but still below the cloud, and you have the 100 moving average, you have the 200 moving average, giving a little bit of resistance there. However, we have RSI back above 60, so it indicates higher levels on the Belgian main index. CAC still range bound between 7,400 and 7,000, so not really that strong there. Excuse me. Euro dollar still taking a little bit higher, but the uptrend is quite stressed. But I think maybe we could see a little spike up to 127 before we see a correction, and we need a correction, just a minor one before the next push higher, and we closed above on the weekly above the 111.85, so we are in an uptrend. There might be a little bit of divergence there, but still the uptrend is intact. Cable sterling dollar cable here, a little bit of setback, and that is also needed and expected. So and I think maybe we could set back to around 130, maybe a little bit lower before the next push higher, and the uptrend on weekly is also intact. Looking at euro sterling, some interesting development going on here. Maybe we have a little bit of a double bottom here. It is not confirmed, however, and we need a close above the highest level here in this double bottom like pattern. If we close about 86.60, well, then it was the double bottom pattern, and then there should be room up to around 88.65. So keep an eye on that. If it takes out 85, then the downtrend is likely to continue. On the yen pairs, we have dollar yen. bouncing. Let's zoom out a little bit there, or zoom in, sorry. Seems to bounce from this support area here, just above, just around 138, 137 and a quarter. I think we will see a further bounce in the next few days, possibly up to around 140.23 level, which is the 38.2 retracement of the sell-off. The trend is short term, at least, down. We have RSI below the 40, so it seems like a little bit on the weak side. Don't expect new highs anytime soon, but a bounce to the 140 level could be seen. We have Euro-yen bouncing. It touched the 61.8 retracement, just above 156. Maybe a little bit of setback here. Maybe we'll test the lower rising trend line once again, but I think it is done. But keep an eye on the lows here. If it breaks below the rising trend line, then the lows here, or support here, 153, will be under pressure. Sterling yen also bounced from the lower rising trend line and support just below 179.90. I think we will see a little bit of sideways trading here the next few days. On the Scandies, very quickly, shoulder head shoulder pattern is unfolding. Some support just below just above the 11 kroner. But the trend is down. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a test of the neckline and possibly also 1140 support that is now a resistance for EURGBP before the next sell-off could be seen. So that would be crucial. If it closes back above, well, then we could see a higher move here on EURGBP, but still under pressure despite a little bit of a pause. And finally on EURUSD, finding some support just around 1140 in this consolidation area here. Downtrend short term could dip down to 1130 and the lower rising trend line, but it seems to be some strong support around the 100 moving average and the lower part of the cloud there. So look out for that. If it takes out the lows from last week, then 1130 is in the cards. On the commodities, a few things happened last week. If we start with oil, we have the Brent, some setback here. Some setback. Didn't really quite reach the 200 moving average. However, the short-term trend is up. RSI still in a bullish mode. There's no divergence, so we are currently testing the 78.66 support area. We also have the 100 moving average that will give a little bit of support. I think we could move down below the support before next move up, and I think it will be a move up. But it is not that clear cut. Here you have WTI being rejected at 200 moving average, back below the support at 74.75, probably testing the upper part of the cloud and the 100 moving average. It's not unlikely it would dip down to 72.5. On the precious metals, we have gold that reached the 38.2 retracement at 1963. A little bit of setback should be expected, possibly down to around 1930 level before I think we will see another attempt higher. But we could also see here next week or so some range trading, sideways range. Silver, on the other hand, was quite strong. Oh, that was the wrong one. Sorry. Silver was quite strong, taking out resistance at 24.50. I wouldn't be surprised if we tested on the other side before next move higher towards 26, but the trend is up. On the agriculturals, interesting stuff happening. Wheat, here is the December 23 contract. being rejected just below 700 here at the 100 moving average and the 21 moving average at around 696. A close above that, then we are back in uptrend for wheat, and it seems likely it will happen in the next couple of days. We have a bullish RSI and no divergence, so it's not unlikely we'll see a higher wheat prices. Soybeans also trying to take out this resistance area here around 1378, 1380, hovering around here, testing it from the upside. But I think we will see the soybeans, this is the November contract, moving higher towards 14, 25, 30 level. We supported by the bullish RSI without divergence. And corn also bouncing off lows that it actually did take out the lows over here, but it seems to bounce strongly and move up to around the cloud here, possibly up to 38.2, retracement at 537. Seems to be in the cards, but we really need the RSI back above 60 before we go back into bullish mode. All right, that's all for this rainy Monday, at least here in Copenhagen. I know it's not that, or most of Europe that is in the heat. But thank you very much, and talk to you again tomorrow.